Welcome back, everyone. Today we are diving into a brand new explainer on professional English for tourism. We're going to take the core concepts of module MF1057-2 and transform them into a really practical, everyday toolkit for your tourism career. Specifically, we'll be focusing on information networks and the often tricky world of exchanging supplier tariffs.
Okay, let's just jump right into it. Picture this. You're sitting at your desk and you urgently need 20 copies of a regional map from a partner center. Or maybe you need the most up-to-date summer rates from a super busy tour operator. How do you ask a supplier for these things without second-guessing your tone? How do you make sure you get exactly what you need without coming across as demanding or worse, unprofessional in your emails?
Well, to solve that exact problem, we're going to use a simple building blocks framework. Here's our agenda for today. 1. The professional exchange. 2. Essential tourism vocabulary. 3. Making polite requests. 4. Navigating prices and tariffs. And finally, number 5. Connecting your message.
Let's start building our foundation with Section 1, the professional exchange.
We really have 3 main goals for today's explainer taken directly from your module. First, we want you to confidently request and exchange tourist materials using standard, reliable formulas. Second, we need to ask suppliers for updated rates clearly and politely. And third, we have to be able to interpret short, professional correspondence about specific service conditions. If you can master these 3 actions, I promise you, your daily communications are going to feel practically effortless.
Moving right along to Section 2, essential tourism vocabulary. First up, we have an information network, which you'll sometimes hear called a network of centers. This is simply a group of interconnected tourist offices that share vital resources and data with one another. Basically, think of it as the collaborative professional ecosystem you're operating in every single day.
Next is a tariff, or a price list. This is the official document showing the prices for services, rooms, or tours. Honestly, this document is the absolute heartbeat of any tourism transaction. If the tariff is wrong, the entire booking falls apart. So requesting and interpreting these with complete accuracy is absolutely crucial.
You also need to distinguish very clearly between the seasons. High season is, the busiest and most expensive time of the year for a destination. Conversely, low season is the quietest and cheapest time. Knowing exactly when these seasonal shifts happen is critical when you're quoting accuracy or requesting the right tariffs.
Now, when you're looking at those tariffs, you absolutely must understand the difference between these 2 specific rates. The net rate is the discounted trade price, meant strictly for agencies like yours. The rack rate, on the other hand, is the standard public retail price. Let me tell you, mixing these 2 up in your correspondence is a very common and a very, very expensive mistake.
Next up, we have the classic brochure, or leaflet. These are those small, printed paper booklets filled with info and pictures about a specific place or service. Whether they're physical paper copies or digital PDFs, these are the primary promotional assets you'll be asking other centers to share with you. And finally, the verbs that actually drive our network actions: to share or to exchange. These just mean to give and receive data or materials between 2 parties. It's the absolute lifeblood of that information network we talked about just a minute ago.
All right, let's put that vocabulary to work in Section 3, making polite requests.
So we use soft, conditional structures as sort of our diplomatic tools to avoid sounding harsh or bossy. Notice how we separate our requests into 2 distinct paths here. When you're asking for an action, meaning you need the supplier to actually do something, we use the structure could you plus the verb and object. But when we're just stating our needs directly using nouns, we shift our structure completely to I would like or we would like to have.
Think of these as your foolproof plug-and-play templates. For an action, you might say, could you send us your updated winter tariff list, please? Sending is the action, right? But if you just need a physical item, you state the noun. We would like to have 20 copies of your regional map. Keep these 2 templates in your back pocket, and your emails will literally always strike the perfect professional tone. Let's keep framing things up with Section 4, navigating prices and tariffs.
To clarify rates without confusing anyone, the grammar you use strictly depends on what exactly you're asking for. When dealing with singular or uncountable items, like a specific tax or just a single entry pass, we use the structure how much is. But the second we shift to plural items, like a stack of tickets or multiple guide fees, we have to change our structure entirely to how much do cost.
Listen to how a confident professional sounds when they use these. For a singular item, how much is the net rate for the museum entry pass? It's simple, elegant, and totally direct. Now for the plural item, how much do the adult group tickets cost in the high season? Getting that pluralization right immediately signals to suppliers that you are precise and highly competent.
And that brings us to our final block, Section 5, Connecting Your Message.
These 4 little words are basically your ultimate cheat sheet for drafting short emails. It beautifully organizes how our key connectors function and simply adds information, but shows a contrast or a limitation because gives a direct reason for your email, and so expresses a result or a consequence, basically pushing the reader to take action. Having these tools clearly defined stops you from writing those clunky, disjointed sentences.
Seeing this logical connection in full action is super important. Take a look. The low season prices are cheap, but the museum is closed on Mondays. This flawlessly combines our tourism vocabulary, low season prices, with a critical connector, but, to highlight a major limitation for the client. This sentence demonstrates exactly what you are now capable of communicating quickly and effectively. As we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with a question to chew on. Now that you know these exact templates for requests, your new tariff vocabulary, and your logical connectors, how quickly are you going to assemble these building blocks to draft your next perfectly polite email? Your toolkit is fully loaded now. Go out there, communicate with absolute confidence, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.